Hello, I'm Quentin Young, and this is Second Story Garage. We're here today with GoodRattle, a jazz quintet based here on the Front Range. Now, we ask all our acts to bring in something to leave behind in the garage. What did you bring today, Will?
We are adding a used baritone saxophone reed. Don't worry, it's cleaned. It looks dirty, but it's clean to be added up there to the shelf to bring some acoustic. I think it's the acoustic vibe to the.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Okay. Now, you do a lot of improv in this ensemble, correct? Mm-hmm. And you also teach improv at, is it Colorado State? Mm-hmm. What do you tell your students about how to do that? I always love to ask this question to musicians because it's in a sense something you really can't teach.
Well,
right?
you can teach it. It's more technical at first than you might imagine. In that they're definitely like when this. Do this, or here's at least the framework for it. If you in this situation, this harmonic, whatever, you work with this, and then from there, after about 10 years of that, then you get into the artistic music making part, maybe.
10 years.
I'm exaggerating, but yeah, it's much more like technical and quantitative than some people might imagine that it is.
Mm-hmm. Now you're going to do tunes that you wrote and you, Ben, wrote today. Now, how does that work? Is it a composition that comes to the band fully formed, or is there how do you bring compositions into fruition?
We usually bring them in fully formed, mm-hmm. meaning like I'll be at home composing, Ben will be at home composing, Matt's composed some music for the group as well, and we'll bring in a lead sheet and play it together. We might shape it from there. Mm-hmm. I've grabbed a couple of theirs and said, hey, can I do an arrangement of your chart? A couple of times where I wanted to something that I really liked their tune. I wanted to do something to it, but
mm-hmm.
but
so
for the most part,
to that.
Oh yeah. We all just sort of work together and we change this, change that, whatever it is.
Now, from what I know of your music, you do a lot of composing for different types of ensembles.
As much as I can, as much as people will let me.
Now, what do you bring to this ensemble? What approach do you take, and what genre and what form does this music take?
We sort of started this group to be in the tradition of sort of two great quintets that I've always really enjoyed: the Cannonball Adderley Quintet, which is when I'm playing my alto, and then the various forms of quintets that involve Pepper Adams, who was a baritone saxophonist, who was well known through the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Where each of those quintets was rhythm section, either baritone or alto saxophone, and then trumpet. And so we can do a lot of the music. In our live gigs, we do some of the music from those particular groups when we play. But it's sort of in that style, growing out of that with maybe a slightly more modern harmonic concept sometimes. But and all these guys are so well versed in all of those traditional styles as well as modern stuff that we can do this like.
Can you
concoction.
Very briefly tell me how you all came together?
I called them and said, hey guys, I'm starting a band. I think you're the right guy. Will you be in the band? And they all said, yes. And I said, yes. So, I mean, it's sort of like we all play together in a bunch of different groups, a bunch of different venues and settings and all that. So we all know each other's playing well. And it's like, the jazz community is just 1,000 points of different people. And if you're going to do a new project, you sort of like go, it's like, well, Ben is a killing bebop piano player. Ben, will you play piano? Yes, that's great. Like Chris is like a killing modern and traditional player. Grab him, bring him in. It's like, Matt, I always loved your sound. That's why I called you. But anyway, so I was like Matt's got the perfect sound for this group. It's going to be great. And then we bring the group together. And there's actually other groups that these people are all in together that have different names, doing different kinds of music, doing different strengths of their of their musicianship. But
now, Estes Park has a jazz festival. Longmont has one. Now Niwot has one. And I don't know if a lot of people think of the Denver metro area as being a hotspot for jazz, but there is a lot going on here.
It's a story I like to tell is that we a couple years ago at the last IAJ, which is the International Association of Jazz Educators convention, which is a big meeting for jazz educators and jazz musicians. It was remarkable that the keynote performances were people from New York and Denver. That's how it went. There like everything that year was either people from New York or people from Denver, and I was. On one hand, glad that maybe we get a little cred because like the scene around here is better than people know about. But on the other hand, I was like, oh man, people will find out more people will start moving to Denver. We got more people to compete in gigs with. But
so the
whatever.
Secret's out now. And if it wasn't before, now it is.
Yeah.
Denver's a place to see jazz. Yeah. Well, I'm anxious to hear you guys play. So let's do it and make sure to watch the videos.